That's 2022, though. Let's move it to 2023. Setting the stage for movies. Also, I think this is a hot year as well. Barbie is your number one movie of the year, which I think is well deserved. The Super Mario Brothers movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Oppenheimer, The Little Mermaid, Quantum and the Wasp, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, there it is, John Wick Chapter 4, Sound of Freedom, Taylor Swift Eras Tour is one of the highest 11 grossing films of the year, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny as well. It's in there. I gotta tell you, the Eras Tour, it's fucking good. It's fucking good. I ain't gonna lie. Made me a Taylor Swift fan. I can't deny that.
Most concert movies are pretty good.
See, I'm not drawn to concert movies most of the time. And especially to an artist prior to that I didn't want to like. And it got me to like her. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I watch them. They're usually pretty good. So, yeah, so the ceremony, 3 of the Best Picture nominees, directed by women. So, progress. Martin Scorsese becomes the oldest nominee for Best Director at 81 years old. Billie Eilish becomes the youngest person to win 2 Oscars.
Good for her.
Best Song again.
I got a feeling Billie Eilish is it's kind of just gonna become her thing. And when she disappears for like 6 years in the future, all of a sudden she's gonna make another song for a hit movie, and it's gonna be like, yeah, Billie's gonna win. I fucking love Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is great.
She's good. I actually really do enjoy most of her music. So, visual effects. That's the one thing I really did want to talk about. Godzilla -1 wins. So one of the really impressive things about Godzilla -1, we'll be talking about it quite a bit this year. The entire team that works on this movie is 35 people. And it's a $12 million budget. And it wins the visual effects Oscar. Let me look up the other nominees.
Tells you quite a bit. I've yet to watch Godzilla -1. You're not the only person who's recommended it. It's one of those, when I have the time, watch Godzilla -1.
Other nominees were The Creator, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible 7, and Napoleon. All those
are huge.
Easily
huge.
100 plus million easily. So $12 million budget, and they win. Also, one of the awesome things about Godzilla -, I have it here, Takashi Yamazaki. Yamazaki, director of Godzilla -1. He's also the writer of it, and he's also the visual effects supervisor. So what he did, all his artists are working on an open platform in one single room, and he's just going around to each of their computers, just working with them, just going around every single day and just looking at their screens and just supervising them. Like, that's how a director should be. Because in this day and age, if you're not a visual effects supervisor, like I watched Corridor Crew's breakdown of Godzilla -. They point this out. Like, if you're not a visual effects person, like, if you just say, I don't know how visual effects really work, you're not the director of the movie at this point.
The VFX supervisor is.
Like, if you're making blockbusters, at least, like, half your movie is visual effects if you're making blockbusters. So, like, at this point, you're a co-director at best.
Impressive.
But that's one of the things I wanted to point out. Like,
I didn't know. I knew it was a smaller team. I didn't know how small it was.
Yes, I didn't know that either. And yeah, considering like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I mean, there's probably like 5 different visual effects houses working on that with hundreds of visual effects artists in those houses.
Yeah.
Like, just getting farmed out. Got hundreds of shots getting farmed out to the houses. So, yeah, it's impressive that 35 people working on one film.
It's fucking wild. Props to them.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, Technical changes. Got any?
I I just a nom for makeup and hairstyling for Barbie. I think it's well used in the way that they're using makeup and hairstyling there to not just show not just to show like we can do this for fashion, but to show character in a lot of their choices. I think is very fun. And and I think just like everything in that movie, the makeup and hairstyling is a lot deeper than the surface level that you're supposed to see with a Barbie. So I would say that'd be my one nom. I can't remember who wins that, uh,
Hey,
but that was the
yes.
one where I went. I think Barbie deserves some recognition for that.
Yeah, Poor Things one, which
I haven't seen Poor Things. I didn't watch a lot.
it's
I didn't watch a lot of stuff from
yeah,
2023.
Poor Things actually is deserving of it. Like that movie's fucking weird as hell. Like it's like a adult Tim Burton movie is how I would describe it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very adult Tim Burton at times. So yeah, but the movie's fucking weird. That's the best way I can describe it.
Fair enough. But that was the only technical change
I'll
shout
just
out
run
I
down a
had.
couple of mine. Adapted screenplay would have loved a nomination for Godzilla minus one. Original screenplay, I would have went something that didn't get at all, which was The Holdovers. I love that fucking movie. I just rewatched it.
That is a movie that certainly fell into the everyone saw the preview of it that saw it and went, well, that's Oscar bait. And a lot of people just skipped it because it's like, well,
But
that's Oscar bait.
it's great. That movie's great.
I'm not against it
I love it.
whatsoever. It's just one of those that nothing that year gave more of a wonder what you guys are trying to do vibe than the
Yeah.
holdovers.
And Paul Giamatti's absolutely wonderful in that movie.
I'm just worried about your
And then
academic career.
another nomination for original screenplay for When Evil Lurks, which is a Mexican horror movie. It's a Shudder original. Obviously, had no chance of ever being nominated for an Oscar, but
It deserves recognition.
it's great. It's a really great movie. Cinematography nomination for The Holdovers. It's got a really great like throwback 70s like grainy look to it that I love.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of Black Christmas a little bit. It's like
Nice.
kind of grungy,
Nice.
kind of like fuzzy. Yeah. And then editing a nomination for Godzilla minus. There's going to be a running theme of Godzilla minus one.
I'm sensing Godzilla minus one is going to be pretty heralded
Yes.
this year for you.
Yes. Oh, bigger categories. You got Christopher Nolan finally winning for Oppenheimer.
Goddamn right.
Cillian Murphy wins for Oppenheimer.
Goddamn right.
Emma Stone wins for Poor Things. Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdover. 49.
I have no beef with those. Would have liked to see some more recognition for Margot Robbie and Barbie. I think she's incredible in them. She really is. And then
She's great.
I don't recall who's the nominees for supporting actress.
Whoever you, if you say a different winner, you're wrong.
I'm not
Divine
gonna.
Joy Randolph. Oh, I was gonna say Divine Joy Randolph definitely deserves it. Like she's great in that fucking movie. Other nominees were Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in Color Purple, Erica Ferrera, Barbie, and Jodie Foster in Naiad. I've not seen
Yeah, I couldn't remember if
that one.
Emily Blunt got a nomination. Emily Blunt's incredible in Oppenheimer. She's tremendous.
She's good. She's good.
I adore when I get random movie scenes on like Instagram, and anytime I see her scene where they're doing the communist interviews, and she's just fucking wrecks Jason Clarke's character by just outdoing him intellectually. I'm like, God, she's so fucking good. Emily Blunt is so
Yeah.
likable in that fucking movie. It's ridiculous.
Emily Blunt's likable in everything.
Oh, I mean, Emily Blunt is amazing. I've been in love with Emily Blunt since the first one when I saw her. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I I was really, really rooting for Lily Gladstone to win for Killers of the Flower Moon. I understand why Emma Stone won for Poor Things, but I would really love to see Lily Gladstone win. I think she would have been the first Native American to win an Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think of a Native American who
I
won.
mean, it's a big deal that she was even nominated because a lot of people thought she might not even get nominated for it. So,
Well, she's great in that fucking movie. I would have not had Christopher Nolan win. Just
can't wait for you to
personal
just
choice.
can't wait for you to justify this one.
And it's just because I would have went with Godzilla minus one, who I just was talking about, the Takashi Yamazaki.
Again, I haven't seen Godzilla minus one. From what you just told
Just
me, I would
that's why.
understand your logic.
That's why. Once I learned that, that's why I said it. I was like, now knowing how he worked with his crew, that's why. And also, when you see the visual effects breakdowns, you see how little of the actual movie is actually practical. And I was like wildly blown away by like what they were doing. It's like half the movie is like on boats,
Yeah.
but they had 0% of the movie is filmed on water. Literally zero. It's so like
Oh, that's incredible.
so what they did was like they had like part of a boat set, but then instead of like moving the boat set, it would just move the camera to like represent a wave motion.
Yeah.
And then they would have the actors move like like they did on the old Star Trek
hmm
shows, like where they're like, "Whoa!" like that.
Yeah.
Like they would do that.
It's like Mighty
It
Morphin
looks,
Power Rangers where it's like an explosion. It's just them jumping.
yeah, and it turns out incredible. Like it works. So yeah,
Credit
it's
to him.
really
Credit
it
to him.
works in the movie.
Yeah, you.
Um,
It's just the wrong year to bark up that tree for me. You know why?
you know, I totally. I mean, I have no
That
problem
man has
with
been
Christopher
deserving
Nolan.
since 2008 to get a director nomination and win, and he doesn't get it, and it's bullshit. And that's why, when you're like,
Hey,
when you said it, I was like, I know what he's gonna say. I understand why he's gonna say it. I'm not mad at that guy. This is punishment for the past. This is 15 years past fucking overdue.
I have no problem with Christopher Oppenheimer. It's a great movie. It's
Also,
just my personal choice
also
after
the
learning all.
Chris. I just love Christopher Nolan's reputation of in meme culture to the point where memes were like, "Did you know he actually blew up a nuclear bomb because he's such a practical?"
Yeah.
Like, I love that shit. That shit's awesome.
Yeah. That is one thing I don't like about some of the stuff that goes out there though about like some of his movies though. It's like people get the wrong idea about like, oh, it's all 100% practical. Like
No,
that's not even close to real. No, that's a insult to all the visual effects artists that work on him.
yeah,
And a lot of the stuff on Barbie was the same way, where they said there was no visual effects, and it's like that's really insulting
yeah,
to all the people that work on that fucking movie.
yeah,
So yeah, it always bugs me when they say shit like that.
yeah. I'm glad
Um,
they don't, but like
Christopher Nolan loves to say how much of
Oppenheimer,
his movies are
Oppenheimer, he
practical.
softened because he couldn't argue it that time. He's like, I obviously didn't do that. Like,
But he loves to say how much of his movies are practical. I always get bugged when he does that because it's like,
yeah, in the wrong context, it does sound pretty bad. I will be the first to admit that. Because in the right context, he's like, oh, I want to do it as much as practical as possible. I think it gives a lot more reality and grip to the movie.
I'm fine with him.
When you do that, I'm great. But yeah, when you go into the lens of what you're saying and where it's like, oh yeah, there's barely any visual effects in this movie, you're like,
Yeah,
come on,
that's
dog.
not even close to true. Yeah. Best Picture winner Oppenheimer. Other nominees:
Well
Perfect
deserved.
Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Four things. Zone of interest.
No changes whatsoever. We're good. Justice was finally done.
I have two changes here. I don't love Barbie.
I would
So
disagree with you entirely on that one. I think Barbie's incredible.
I think it's just a fun, enjoyable movie, but I don't think it's Best Picture
I,
level. It's
I
the same thing I have with Black Panther. I'm like, yeah, it's just a fine, enjoyable movie.
I would
Like,
disagree with that because I think Black Panther loses a lot of its impact at the end of the movie, where I think Barbie is so subversive into what it's doing a lot of the time that I think it keeps that going. Where Black Panther, like we talked about in the last episode, the third act's a
oh,
mess.
the third act sucks. Yeah,
I think Barbie does not have that problem. I think Barbie stays strong the entire time and really speaks to the human condition of women in society, that I think it deserves that.
yeah. I guess I could see that. Just personally, I just didn't. Just a fine.
Wasn't your cup of tea at that level?
Yeah. It- Also, I replaced it with a
Godzilla
movie
minus one.
that was was never. No, I replaced Barbie and Maestro. Maestro is another movie that just like talk about awards bait. Like the movie is, it's fine. That's another movie that is just fine. Like Bradley Cooper is good in the movie. So is Carey Mulligan, but that's all I'll say for that. Like other than that, it's fucking fine.
That was another one that just screamed, "Wow, I wonder what you guys are trying to do here."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Godzilla minus one of my replacements. The other one was When Evil Lurks. Again, a movie that was never going to get any love, but it's a movie that I think deserves some love, deserves a shout out.
Fair enough.
Also, a movie that I should have said for makeup and hairstyling, although I don't know what I would consider it. 'Cause it's like a lot of weird puppetry and stuff.
Huh.
I don't know if that would be like makeup and hairstyling.
I don't think
I don't
that's
know
making
what
my
that
hair
would go
styling.
down as. Yeah,
Yeah, be interesting to see what that would be.
yeah.
Favorite movie of the year?
Godzilla minus.
Mine would be Barbie. I think Barbie's so fucking intelligent.
Really?
I love
Huh.
Barbie. I knew you
I
thought
was
it'd be Oppenheimer, and
yeah.
Oppenheimer's incredible. Barbie has a rewatchability where legitimately I had no interest in Barbie. I was like, oh, that could be fun. It did bring a lot of joy that, for those who haven't heard this on the show already, my wife is an OBGYN, and the whole residency crew that she had went to Barbie, and of course that last line, like all seven of them were like fucking screaming and clapping, and everyone's like, "What?" And they all have Barbie's gynecologist shirts on, so it's like they didn't even know that line was happening, and they're like, "Hey!" So there is a little bit of love that way as well. But I saw Barbie for the first time and went, "Holy shit, this movie's fucking smart. I adore
Oh
this."
yeah.
And then
I mean,
I remember we went on a cruise in August, and I was sitting in the room just being like, I don't know, there's a lot of movies I can watch, and I don't really want to do anything else right now. So I was like, you know what, I want to watch Barbie again. And I watched it immediately and just went, I'll watch this movie again. I don't fucking care.
yeah.
I'm always
I
excited to rewatch Barbie. Or Oppenheimer. I love Oppenheimer. I was so thrilled to watch it. But I have to mentally prepare myself to go watch Oppenheimer
That's
again.
also a 3 hour movie.
Exactly. I'm like, I know how good it is, but I've yet to rewatch it because I'm always excited, like, oh, I should go watch Oppenheimer. And I'm always like, oh, I gotta prepare for this. This is half a day.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach also completely deserve the nomination for screenplay. I don't know why they got it in adapted screenplay. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's solely because they used former written material from Barbie descriptions. And there's been
It doesn't make
Barbie.
sense.
There's been Barbie. I'm trying to make. I agree with you. I think the
It doesn't
only
just
justification
yeah.
I can think of is there's been Barbie animated stuff that plays with not those vibes.
I-
Obviously, I'm literally pulling at strings trying to understand why that would be done.
But to talk about Godzilla minus, I have never cared for Godzilla ever.
Yeah, you
I
haven't.
don't
That's true.
like Godzilla. I don't care about Godzilla movies at all. Like the one that I liked the most was the 2014 one,
Yeah.
and I think that movie is Joker at best. So when I went into this one, because I watched it only because it won the Oscar,
Yeah.
and I just watch everything that wins an Oscar. I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch it. Like, sure, whatever. And then I was like, holy fucking shit, I love this fucking movie. Like, I was blown away. It is so awesome.
If it works, it works, man. If it
Yeah.
works, it works.
And then one movie that I really wanted to love, but I think got a little overhyped, was The Zone of Interest.
Okay.
Because it was really right up my alley. It was set at Auschwitz. It was like about Rudolf Hess, the commandant there. It's like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. But then a bit of a letdown.
I know how this is going to sound to people. It's not meant to be derisive. I don't ever need to see another Nazi Germany concentration camp. I don't need to see another one. I think a lot of beauty's already been made in art from that, and I don't know if we need more.
Well, you can't top Schindler's List ever, so yeah, I would agree with you.
It's just one of those that I just kind of go, I'm okay. I don't need, personally speaking, I don't need this. I understand why it's made. I'm not trying to
the Zone of Interest did win Best Sound, which was really awesome because like it is just them living a normal life, and then you hear all the stuff in the background.
Yeah.
You never actually see anything going on in the camp, which is kind of cool.
I mean, it's an interesting way to handle it. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be 2023, and that wraps up our Oscar reviews. This has been the first big project that we've actually finished.
Oscar nominations have not come out yet as of recording.
As of recording, we are going to be covering the Oscar nominations, and then we're going to have some reactions post wins to see how we feel about all that. Where Dylan's going to give his Oscar nominations for what he knows as best he possibly can. If I can contribute, I will. But
I don't know how many of the movies I'll actually be able to see beforehand because not that many are actually available.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But we will have some Oscar reactions as well as Oscar predictions. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. But that has been our Oscar review of 2019 through 2023. We have a lot of fun projects on the way. Stay in touch with that. I hope you're enjoying Top 100 series. This episode's going to come out, I think, 2 weeks prior to our 90 through 81. So check out our Top 100 series of our Top 100 movies of all time. You can see some wildly different lists there. Already you can see the deviations in how we watch movies and how we appreciate movies. And a lot of other fun things coming your way. So enjoy that. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching to this program. We appreciate it. For Dylan and myself, thank you. Go watch a great movie, young people and old people everywhere. Peace, love, and hugs to you all. Goodbye!